companies are getting more efficient. And under pressure, companies are seeking to maximize themselves and naturally are shedding weight. From manufacturing to financial to every kind of service company you can imagine, there are people being told to go home. And there's nothing wrong with those companies. They're not being wicked or mean. They are taking the right decisions for the survival of their own institutions, and they have a right to. Technology is advancing at rates you can't imagine. And as the advancement of technology happens, efficiency comes into the workplace. In one of the companies where I sit on the board, one day, by installing an efficient production line from end to end, by the end of that machine, 400 and something jobs taken out. They don't mean harm, but they do have a right to fight to be efficient in a competitive market. This is our reality, and this will continue. In a time and age where people are advocating for, I went to MIT a few weeks ago to speak at their innovation conference. And in their media lab where they had this conference, there's a major section dedicated to robots and robotics. And many factories are looking for options to human beings. I watched a documentary on CNN the other day. One hotel in Japan, if you check into the hotel, guess who is checking you in? Taking you into your rooms and providing the services for your room? Robots. Human beings are being eliminated for the sake of efficiency. What does that tell us? We need to create alternative opportunities to engage human beings. Otherwise, we'll have a social problem. Fortunately and unfortunately, we are one of those nations that have a lot of human beings to account for. They become a liability where we go to sleep and we do nothing to plan about how we're going to engage and provide for them. To engage them constructively is to turn that population into an asset that through that engagement can provide value, create value for the economy of the nation, and make us able to stand with pride. The only way I know that you create jobs is that you continue to create businesses and opportunities. And to create businesses, you need to raise entrepreneurs, and you need to facilitate the emergence of small and medium-scale businesses, because ultimately, it is only small and medium-scale businesses that emerge to be major corporations. But even with that, statistics will tell you, if you look through all the nations, all the developed countries of the world, for most of them, small and medium-scale businesses represent anything between 40 to 70% of the jobs in their market. Every country, from America to Germany to UK to across the whole globe, different kinds of countries, different kinds of economies. So it is not a matter of choice, but it cannot be an accident, because right now we have an accidental model. We have a model that says if you find your way and you succeed at it, that's fine. But if you don't, too bad for you, because nobody cares. But what we need to understand as a nation, and what our policymakers and our decision makers need to understand, is entrepreneurship is not for pleasure. It is a national service, a national sacrificial service, a choice to use your resources to create value for your society and for other human beings, rather than to just keep your resources for yourself. Because after all, as an entrepreneur, I haven't worked for 28 years to build a group. All my resources are deployed into companies that generate returns to pay salaries of other people, to pay taxes for the nation, to pay bills for other things, to pay services that make other economies continue to run. At the end of it, when the taxman has taken his own money, whatever is left as profit, if there is profit, is where I am supposed to take some dividend. And a wise businessman will never eat all the profit that is left after tax. You will retain a portion of it to continue to grow the business. So it is national sacrificial service. And it needs to be structured, it needs to be encouraged, it needs to be empowered, it needs to be celebrated. And we need to facilitate the emergence of more. Oh, they're not showing. I wanted to show you a natural pipeline. It's there. Okay, this is not even the one. I want that pipeline. Job creator or job seeker. Move. Okay. I want you to look at this. This is the natural pipeline of people. After school or training, whatever, most people line up looking for jobs. You can see the single guy or the odd guys that will go through the entrepreneurial line. Because, like a wise man told me some time ago, only a mad person chooses to have to worry about other people's salary at the end of the month. Only a foolish person does that. A wise person waits for somebody else to worry about his own pay at the end of the month. Unfortunately, that luxury does not exist. We need to set in motion a holistic policy and agenda that helps to motivate more people from the green line to the white line, because therein lies our salvation. Because ultimately, jobs don't fall from heaven. They are created, and they are created by bold, courageous, selfless people that are called entrepreneurs. Listed on Nigerian Stock Exchange are only 186 companies or thereabout. Go and do the numbers of how many people they represent in terms of employment. And I doubt that you will have 500,000 people represented by them. So all the other 180-something million people that are Nigerians, and we say we have a labor workforce of about 78 million people. Where do they work? Right now, even the numbers that government will supply you as those that work for government, we have seen how many ghosts are within them. So when you eliminate the ghosts and take the real numbers, add it to what the major corporates represent, and you would find that the small and the medium-sized companies are the major shock absorbers of job issues in the country. I posit that we need to be deliberate about it. First and foremost, our entire educational system needs a rejig. A total rejig. Every single course must have an entrepreneurship content added to it. Every single course. When you train a doctor, tell him what is the commercial angle of his medical training and how he can derive and create economic value from his medical training. When you train an engineer, prepare him to be an entrepreneur, for when he sees the opportunity, if he has the background of the knowledge, he can attempt to take it on. Some will fail, but so what? In the entire world, if you go to business school, they will tell you 7 out of every 10 new businesses will fail within the first 3 years. But imagine the 30% that will be created. I worked in the last few months with Total Nigeria. They had a competition that they were sponsoring called the Start-Upper. They were running it across Africa. They asked young Nigerians to share their ideas